Well, good day, folks, and welcome back. We are out of the wood yard, as you can see today, by this beautiful river in my background. We are on the last motorcycle trip of the season. So I am going to get you some video clips of the places we're riding today. We are currently camped out in Bryson City, North Carolina, or just outside of Bryson City, North Carolina, here at the Grumpy Bear Campground. This is the last few years that we've been doing this. This is the place that we always set up home base, and we are going to just ride around beautiful Appalachia for a while. So hope you'll stick with us, and talk to you soon. Well, that is the end of the 2024 Tour DaLeaves trip. That is our last major motorcycle trip of the season. It is, you know, what, that's the 3rd or 4th week, I don't even know. It's towards the end of October. But generally it is our last major trip of the year, before the weather turns cold and crappy. And basically we went to Bryson City, North Carolina, traveled there on Friday, rode all day Saturday, all day Sunday, and then we traveled back home on Monday. And that is kind of the loop. While we were down in Bryson City's kind of our home base, where we kind of set up camp. We camp at a place called Grumpy Bear Campground, just outside of Bryson City. And beautiful campground. If you guys are wanting to find a place to stay down there, they have camper sites along the river available. They have a couple of little cabins, which is what we stayed in. They've had teepees in the past, but due to the flooding and stuff that took place during Hurricane Helene, the teepees got damaged. So while we were there, they still weren't usable. But this year we actually rented one of the cabins. We've stayed in the teepees in the past, but we rented one of the cabins, and that was perfect for what we needed. Basically used it like a bunkhouse. And from there, over Saturday and Sunday, we traveled through North Carolina, Tennessee, South Carolina, and Georgia over those 2 days. Fantastic riding. If you guys are into motorcycle riding and you've never ridden in southern Appalachia, or that area of the country, you have no idea what you're missing. I am convinced that there is not a bad road down there. Obviously, with the damage from Helene, we were kind of limited in some regards. There were some of the roads that we've ridden in the past that we could not ride due to roads being damaged, like the Blue Ridge Parkway out of Cherokee. There's just big road closed signs. You can't even get on the Blue Ridge Parkway there. Another area, I don't remember the name of the road. The road is open, but the place that we go to at the other end of that road is totally devastated. So like we couldn't do that ride, but holy cow, the oak trees are shedding. But anyways, it was still great. We were able to ride the Cherahalla Skyway, which is a beautiful ride. It's like a 51-mile ride, and it is just absolutely fantastic. I don't know what the highest point of elevation is on the Cherahalla Skyway. I know at one point in time I was at a sign that was like 5,100 feet. I don't know if that's the highest point on the Skyway or not. I honestly have never looked. But it is just a beautiful ride, and it's generally not super busy. And when you get to the other end of the Skyway, you're at Tellico Plains, and we get there and we eat and then make our way back, which is what locks us up into the Nahala Gorge after dark, which we try to avoid, but for the last 2 years in a row, we've wound up riding through the gorge after dark. The plus to this year was it was over 50 degrees the whole way through the gorge this year. Last year, me and Brandon about froze to death because it was cold. The temperature dropped more than expected, and it had gotten last year it had gotten pretty warm during the day. I don't think we ever seen temps over like mid 70s this year. Where last year, the day we rode the Chair Hollow Skyway, it got into the 80s during the day. So we had stripped off some of our layers and didn't get them put back on before we were headed back to Bryson City. And we about froze to death going through the gorge last year. But unfortunately, like I said, it was after dark, and I didn't try recording off the motorcycle headlights. If I'm on a road by myself, the camera does a pretty good job of picking it up off the headlight. But when there's other vehicles coming towards you and stuff like that, it doesn't do very good. It kind of washes out. So I didn't even try recording going through the gorge after dark. You can see some of the Nahala Gorge at the very beginning of the video. That's where we were kind of stuck in some traffic. With all the road closures, there was some commercial trucks using that road through the gorge to get over to Murphy, North Carolina. So that was a little different. Generally, we don't see that kind of commercial truck traffic, but anyways, it was a fantastic trip. I always hate seeing the riding season. I say it's coming to an end. I mean, me and Brandon both, if the weather's decent through the winter, I mean, we both try to still ride, or at least get out and run the bikes a little bit through the winter if the weather presents an opportunity. But being in Indiana, generally once it snows or it gets and stays below freezing, I generally don't ride unless it's like super sunny and we've had good dry weather for a while. That, and I just, especially after it snows or it freezes, I just don't like riding a bike when there's been salt on the road. So I try to avoid that. But anyway, so Ace buddy, if you're watching this, we missed you. Wished you could have gone with us. Sucks that stuff didn't pan out good this year, but we'll be going again next year, so there's always next year. And I'll do this real quick. You guys, in the last video, I kind of talked about the cigar I was smoking. You see me, I had my pipe. This is a little Morgan Bones bent pot. I'm smoking some Cowboy Coffee from the Country Squire out of it. That's probably my kind of my go-to pipe tobacco blend. I smoke it just about more than I smoke anything else. Obviously variety is the spice of life, but when you're having trouble deciding, you can't beat it. So especially paired with a cup of coffee. Anyways, I appreciate y'all watching. I hope y'all have a good week. See you soon.